WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 5.
President Trump signing into law his massive budget bill by the 4th of July is looking more promising by the hour. It's our top story at 5. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jorma Duran. A marathon vote series some call a vote-a-rama is underway in the U.S. Senate after the chamber debated President Trump's massive tax bill into the wee hours of this morning. Republicans want to pass the centerpiece legislation of Mr. Trump's second-term agenda by the 4th of July. And here for you now is Erica Brown with the latest.
Previously ordered, the clerk will call the roll.
Republican senators could be on the verge of passing one of President Trump's biggest legislative priorities, named the One Big Beautiful Bill Act.
This, Mr. President, will make this country safer, stronger, and more prosperous.
The legislation includes increased spending for border security and defense and extends Trump's tax cuts from his first term. It also fulfills his 2024 campaign promise to remove taxes on tips and overtime pay. In a voting marathon session, Senate Democrats who do not support the bill proposed a series of changes.
Our amendments will give Republicans so many chances to defend Medicaid and SNAP and good-paying jobs and clean energy that if they say no, they'll regret it long after this debate is done.
The spending bill just needs a simple majority to pass, but with the Senate so closely divided, Republicans can only afford to lose 3 votes, and at least 2 Republicans have already said they oppose the measure.
We need the full weight of the Republican conference to get behind this bill, and we expect them to, and we are confident that they will.
The president has threatened to support primary challengers of Republicans voting against the bill. Sunday, North Carolina's Thom Tillis, who said he'll vote no, announced he will not seek re-election. The bill's final passage could come down to moderates like Susan Collins from Maine and Lisa Murkowski from Alaska. Murkowski supported several Democratic amendments Monday, but she has not yet announced how she plans to vote on the bill's passage. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
U.S. Secretary of Labor Lori Chavez DeRemer has been traveling across the country since April on a listening tour, and it brought her to Michigan today. She's been gathering feedback from workers and businesses on federal policies and said. Good evening, Sean.
What better way to grow this economy and invest right here in your local community?
Congressman Tom Barrett took part in the tour today at Schaefer, a family-owned concrete plant here in Lansing. He says he agrees focusing on everyday people is key to moving the economy forward.
I really think it shows a great integration between the Trump administration, how they value Michigan, and what they think about working men and women here in our communities.
As part of a third-generation family business, CEO of Schaefer Gary Kelly says they know the importance of taking care of the next wave of American workers.
As a family-based company, to have the White House show up, it's just an amazing event. Have the Congressman, Madam Secretary, Deputy Secretary to be here with us today, sharing in what we do.
The Secretary of Labor is set to visit South Bend tomorrow, meeting with community leaders and union members. Jorma, back to you.
Sean, thank you very much. Meanwhile, outside of Representative Barrett's office today, there were about a dozen protesters gathered to voice their disapproval of his support for Trump's massive bill, with some saying ripping money away from the poor and middle class to help billionaires is simply the worst.
This has no business in America. This has got to be the most disgusting bill that has ever been proposed to date. It's really a reverse Robin Hood, and we do not need this as a country. We need to build infrastructure. We need to pay for those veterans that have already fought in the forever wars and honor those contracts and those promises. And we also have to look out for and work through our immigration system to have a clear path forward.
Now, between the extension of 2017 tax cuts and new ones in the bill, the Congressional Budget Office estimates it would increase the federal deficit by $3.8 trillion over the next 10 years. Michigan Senators, Democrats Alyssa Slotkin and Gary Peters, are each speaking out about the impact of the cuts. Senator Slotkin says Americans living at or below the poverty line will get hit in every direction, while Senator Peters took to the Senate floor to voice his opposition to the bill, saying it would take away health care and food assistance programs for millions of Americans in order to cut taxes for billionaires.
If the existential issue of our time is that a middle class is shrinking in America, this bill does nothing but make middle class people pay more in their lives. 17 million people ready to lose their health care because of this bill. That means everyone else on private insurance is going to be paying more.
This bill produces the most amount of pain for the least amount of gain of any legislation that I can remember in all the years that I've had the privilege of serving here in the Senate.
We will have continuing coverage on the big budget bill, so stick with us on air and online at WLNS.com. And if you want to voice your thoughts on the Line 5 tunnel project, now is the time, because the deadline to provide public comment on the updated timeline is today. The Line 5 pipeline, which runs under the Straits of Mackinac, transports around 23 million gallons of crude oil and natural gas liquids each day. Its owner, Enbridge, proposed a project to create a tunnel that would house a replacement segment of Line 5, but the project is not without controversy, already having faced several challenges in court. Back in April, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers approved the tunnel project, releasing its project permit review and environmental impact statement. This led to 30 days of public comment, which again ends today. To give your opinion on the findings, just head to our Scene on 6 section of our website, WLNS.com. And staying on the topic, the U.S. Supreme Court said today it will review Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel's lawsuit seeking to shut down a section of an aging pipeline beneath the Great Lakes Channel. 6 News will keep you updated on that.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We had a couple of scattered rain showers and thunderstorms make their way through mid-Michigan earlier this afternoon. Good news is satellite and radar shows most of that activity exiting off to the east. We still do have a couple of isolated sprinkles across our region right now, but we are going to be trending towards drier conditions as we go throughout the rest of the evening. Now, the showers and thunderstorms that we had earlier today, all generating ahead of a cold front. That cold front is going to do one key thing. It's not only going to cool our temperatures down just slightly for tomorrow, but it's also finally going to decrease the humidity across the area as well. Dew point temperatures today were generally sitting in the mid to low 70s. Notice it's going to feel a lot more comfortable Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and as we move into the first half of our Friday. Unfortunately, it does look like for 4th of July, though, those dew point temperatures will begin to spike yet again. So it's going to feel just a little bit more humid by then, and we'll hold on to those humid conditions as we go throughout the upcoming weekend as well. Again, we're trending towards drier conditions throughout the rest of our Monday. We have partly cloudy conditions in the forecast overnight tonight. After that, there's a lot more dry weather and a lot more sunshine in our forecast. We will stay mostly sunny as we move into our Tuesday. We also have those mostly sunny conditions in the forecast for Wednesday as well. Now, Wednesday afternoon, there is going to be a very weak disturbance moving across the area. As it does so, it'll give us around a 10-20% chance of an isolated sprinkle, but it does look like the overall coverage of that precipitation is going to be incredibly isolated. Most of us, again, should stay completely dry. We'll hold on to those dry conditions just in time for our Thursday as well. Outside right now, notice we still have a couple of peaks of sunshine outside. Overall, we're still around partly sunny in terms of our overall sky cover. A peak wind gust of 29 miles per hour reported here in Lansing as those gusty thunderstorms made their way into the region. Rainfall totals associated with that system overall were relatively light, at least here in Lansing, still hovering right around 0.15 of an inch. Over in Jackson, our current temperature 80 degrees, the same as our high. This morning we were incredibly warm, waking up to temperatures in the upper 60s. A live look over in Grand Ledge, currently 84 after high of 85. That rainfall total 0.16 of an inch. And our final stop over in the city of Hillsdale, currently sitting in the upper 70s after that high of 80 degrees. Rainfall total currently closing in on 0.3 of an inch. We still have to deal with the heat index across the area. Notice it's still feeling like we are in the low 90s in places like Mason and Charlotte. Feeling feeling like 87 degrees still here in the city of Lansing. Again, we decreased that humidity for tomorrow, so feels like temperatures will relatively be a thing of the past. Overnight tonight can be pretty nice. Temperatures falling to 67 degrees, again with those partly cloudy skies. Mostly sunny for tomorrow, highs in the low 80s. It's going to feel absolutely amazing. We are going to hold on to those amazing conditions Wednesday and Thursday, highs in the mid 80s by then. Notice we're jumping up into the low 90s just in time for the weekend. I did have to add in the chance for a couple of scattered thunderstorms on Sunday. Good news is it looks like that is going to be very late Sunday evening.
Good stuff. I like those temperatures.
I know.
I don't want any more 95 and dew point type feelings.
Well, we got 91, but it's just one. Just one in the
Just
whole
one day.
6
That's
plus
what
6 day
I was
forecast.
generally, it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, well, coming up, a Disney dream vacation turned into a terrifying experience after a young child fell overboard off a cruise ship and into the ocean. So stay right there. 6 News at 5. We'll be right back.